You're wired in. SmallCapVoice.com. Following is a presentation of SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support. Now, with your online business briefing, SmallCapVoice.com's Stuart T. Smith.
Welcome one, welcome all to this online business briefing brought to you by SmallCapVoice.com. And as you just heard, I'm your host, Stuart Smith, and we're joined today by Medical Alarm Concepts Holding Incorporated. The company is currently traded on the OTCBB under the ticker symbol MDHI. And we're joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the company, Howard Tasher. Howard, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for stopping by here at SmallCapVoice.com and speaking to your company's shareholders as well as our listeners to this program. And for those listeners who may not be familiar with the company, if you would, let's talk about the business model and market for Medical Alarm Concepts Holding Incorporated.
Well, Medical Alarm Concepts is in one of the fastest growing segments of this industry that a lot of companies are familiar with in the senior marketplace. We deal with customers primarily in the 55 and over space in the baby boomer generation, which is rapidly growing, as I said. Medical Alarm Concepts uniquely manufactures a device specific to what is called the PERS industry, or Personal Emergency Response System space. We manufacture a unique device that allows an end user to carry on a conversation with a certified EMT operator anywhere in and around their home. They're able to do this through our patented technology that allows the person to wear a small two-way voice speakerphone pendant on their wrist, neck, or belt, should they choose. And again, for any reason, small emergency or large emergency, hit that button and feel safe knowing that they are connected to help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether it be, as I said, an EMT certified operator or just needing to reach out to contact a loved one. We're there for somebody all the time. We bring a unique insight into this industry as a result of the technology, because the other companies out there, while they offer similar services, they have an immovable base station located in a customer's home. And a good way for our listeners to understand that is just imagine that a speaker is on the downstairs portion of your home and you're upstairs in your bath or shower. If you hit a button for help, there's no way you're ever going to be able to be heard. Same would go for if you're outside on your driveway. Medical Alarm Concepts technology takes all the guesswork and worriness out of that, as, like I said, somebody is with somebody 24/7 through that speakerphone pendant.
Well, Howard, we've all seen the commercials, the I've Fallen Down commercials. This is a big space, as you pointed out, and you've done a good job at differentiating your company from some of this competition. But let's drill into those differentiating factors now.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to do that. Again, as I mentioned, and I'll explain to our listeners here, the technology in our space is over 20 years old, which is part of the reason we drove into inventing this newer technology. And again, to paint a visual, if somebody has one of the other competitors' emergency buttons on themselves and they hit the button because they are suffering in any type of way or looking for some medical assistance, the competitors offer the end user a speakerphone or a base station that kind of looks like the base of an old answering machine, and it's located somewhere in the house. And then what happens is they have to be within range of that base station to be able to be heard. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, like I said earlier, if you're on the lower level of your home and that immovable base station is on the upper level, we all know there's a very, very good chance that not only are you going to be heard, the operator also won't be able to hear you. Now, the issues that are caused with that is perhaps somebody didn't want the dispatch of an ambulance or a fireman. They may be in a compromising position, and they may just want to have the contact or comfort of speaking to a son, or it can't happen with the competition, and then, as I pointed out, has the self. So when a medipendent end user actually hits that button, they can talk to the operator, explain what their emergency is, and decide what level of dispatch needs to happen, whether it is a friend or family member, whether it is a fire department or police department or EMT. And one of the most important things, besides being able to recognize and identify an emergency, is we cut down on unnecessary and costly dispatches, as well as avoiding embarrassing situations for the end user. And we found in all our market study that sometimes people don't want the ambulance and fire department showing up on their lawn, especially if they're in a compromising position. So not only have we brought state-of-the-art technology to the marketplace, we've created a level of comfort for the end user. So whether they are in their bath or shower, whether they are outside in their backyard, whether at the end of their driveway. As I said, our patented two-way voice technology will be able to connect them to a certified EMT operator no matter where they should be in or around their home. It provides a very, very comforting level and a very, very big peace of mind for the end user.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, Howard, the company has been on TV. You've gained some exposure that way. Tell us a little bit about what the response was to that campaign.
The response to our TV campaign was phenomenal. We pulled much larger numbers than anticipated and are looking forward to continuing that TV campaign on an even bigger scale in the upcoming months.
Howard, you and I were speaking before the show. The company's been on the fundraising trail. Tell me how the company's set up for future growth. Is there any financing in place?
Yes, Stuart, we have successfully recapitalized the company, and we feel that we've recapitalized it to the point where it's going to continue on to profitability in a very, very short time. We have secured enough funding to be able to do that.
Must be music to the ears of shareholders right there. The funds needed to perpetuate the business model are in place. Well, Howard, you've done a very good job of pointing out to the listeners and the shareholders how your company has differentiated itself from its competition currently. But going forward, how do you maintain that separation?
Well, that's a great question, sir. And that's something that we always look at. As a matter of fact, we already have a second and third generation of product on the bench that we're testing. We know that our competition is keeping a close eye on us and will like to try to duplicate our technology. We want to stay one step ahead. We're working on a rechargeable unit. We're working on a wireless unit. As we know, phone lines are disappearing relatively quickly throughout the country, and Medical Alarm Concepts will be poised on all fronts with the newest technology and the best technology available for its customers at all times.
Good to hear. Well, listeners, right now I want to point out there is some news on the wire from the company. Use that ticker symbol again, MDHI. Here's the headline: Medical Alarm Concepts Investors Update. Several initiatives in place designed to significantly accelerate growth. Howard, let's talk about some of these initiatives now.
That's great. So as I mentioned at the beginning of our interview, we've been a little bit out of the public eye there for a little while. We have been working diligently to get this financing secured, and as I had mentioned, we feel that we've put that financing together to get all our initiatives on the street and moving in a relatively quickly fashion. Some of those initiatives include we're looking at a potential partner in the television space, one of the industry's largest, to propel ourselves back onto television. In addition to that, we're working hard and are close to getting a celebrity endorsement put together. Again, that's not quite done yet, but we're very, very confident that that looks like it will happen, and again, will help put Medical Alarm Concepts in a very positive light across the country. And in addition to that, we have inventory on the shelves. We're going to start some internet marketing and other initiatives, as I've mentioned in our previous releases, and again, are looking to poise ourselves as a big, big player in this personal emergency response space in the upcoming months.
Well, listeners, there's a great quote in the press release. Of course, it takes more than just a great product and strong test marketing results to make a profitable company. And as you've heard through this audio interview, Medical Alarm Concepts Holdings Incorporated is putting all of the pieces of the puzzle together now. Well, listeners, once again, we are speaking with Medical Alarm Concepts Holding Incorporated. The company's traded on the over-the-counter QB exchange under the ticker symbol MDHI, and we're speaking with the Chief Executive Officer, Howard Tascher. Howard, if somebody wants to learn more about the company as an investor and possibly as a consumer as well, where do they go to learn more about the company?
Well, they can do that, like you said, one of two ways. To learn more about the company and myself and our management team, you can visit us at www.medicalalarmconcepts.com to learn more about our product and see our current infomercial running directly on the site. You can also visit us at www.medipendant.com.
Listeners, the company also has an 800 number. That's 877-639-2929. For Howard Tascher, this is Stuart Smith, saying thanks so much for listening.